First of our 3 citations for Outstanding School Leader goes to Steve Nelson, the longtime head of school at the Calhoun School, a private school on the Upper West Side that is famous for its progressive mission and practices. Head of school Nelson was proud to tell us about achievements like the Green Roof and self-created food program, and a documentary film called I'm Not Racist, Am I?, in which a group of Calhoun students came together for a full school year to talk about race and privilege. But as he looks ahead to his retirement in June, his pride is also more personal. Quoting him now, "I love the joy and humanity that we radiate every day. I love having real relationships with hundreds of children, young and old." Steve, they're going to miss you. Please welcome Steve Nelson, head of school at the Calhoun School.
Good evening. That was nice of you to say hi back. First, thank you very much, Eric and the New York family for doing this, not for me. As my colleagues know, I have a great deal of ambivalence about awards generally, and in this setting, about awards specifically. Let me explain. Calhoun is a school that has a great deal of privilege. As an independent school, which is a more palatable euphemism for a private school, we have the opportunity to select our students, and we have resources that most of the educators in this room could only dream of. So I speak with that ambivalence and that privilege in mind. The schools that have already been represented here tonight do work which is significantly more difficult, and I would argue more important than what we do, as much as I love my school. Calhoun is a place that has defined itself for many years as a private institution with a public purpose. Right now, at this time in our country, and Eric, you'll excuse me for being a little bit political, I think the importance of serving a public purpose is more acute than it's been during my 19 years as the head of the school. I'm worried. I'm worried about educational policy in this country, which is dividing rather than uniting us, that is resegregating schools across America, that is leading to a reduction in support for public education, which is assaulting, among other things, teachers' unions that have served America's teachers and schools with such nobility for many, many decades. So I don't want to proselytize. If I were to talk about education, I could do what Eric did and be a bit self-referential in that just last week I had a book that was finally published. I don't say that so that you go out and buy the book, but as a way of saying if you'd like to hear what I think about education, read that rather than listening to me tonight. But when I was working to find a publisher for that book, the question arose, why should we publish a book that speaks about education, particularly public education, written by someone who's the head of a private school? And my answer was that my privilege presents me with an obligation, that rather than being unqualified to speak about the importance of a strong public education system in our country, my privilege obligates me to speak to it. So I hope that all of you who are doing the incredible work that we're hearing about tonight will join me in supporting public education to assure that this important democratic institution continues to serve our country as it has for many, many decades, and that we all hold firm in our absolute commitment that every child in America is entitled to an equitable, rich, human education as is represented by the many schools here tonight. So thank you for enduring a bit of politics, but from my position, I feel it's the most important thing I can do when I'm humbled to be in the presence of people that are doing work like I've heard of already this evening. Thank you.